This is Adrienne Barbeau, your nightlight, and you're listening to Draw One Last Breath.
Welcome to Draw One Last Breath podcast. My name's Paul.
And I'm Matt.
And on this episode, we have been watching the October Digital Fright Fest, so the second Digital Fright Fest of the year. We're going to bring you around 14 film reviews, possibly more.
Absolutely loads.
Mate, and we've got a load of different themes running through the weekend, from like B-movies, demonic slashers, grindhouse, alien abduction, home invasion, some sci-fi, some chase horror, some backwards family Hills of Eyes shit, some fucking just old school ghost stories.
Alien spunk.
Alien spunk, alien jizz all over your fucking face, some chainsaw arms. Oh my fucking word, we had a ball, man.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Yeah, some good shit.
We were just basically running around the whole goddamn weekend between houses, weren't we?
Yeah, spreading the COVID all over the place.
Yeah,
we weren't really.
Swindon's all good. Sorry, guys, we're pretty good down here at the moment. Don't know how, but but yeah, we've got Matt's projector out as well.
Yeah, that was cool. So yeah, we've got my projector out. I had it on a massive fucking about 100-inch screen.
Yeah, we couldn't measure it.
Fucking huge.
It was fucking ridiculously big.
But that was cool. I think that added to a little bit of the festival, which was cool.
But we have got so much content to get through. We're not going to go for any news. There's a few little bits that we will entertain your asses with in the next episode. But we're just going to go balls deep into Fright Fest.
Yes.
And I wasn't there for the first day, was I, Matt?
No, you were being a bit of a pussy.
So
what? You were just scared, really.
What happened on the Wednesday?
Well, on the Wednesday, there were a couple of movies shown. They're like the warm, they're kind of like the warmer uppers, aren't they? Like the kind of beginning things. So they kicked off with the first movie, which was Seven Sins. We got into a nice little introduction by the four creators of Fright Fest, which was nice to see their faces. But they introduced Seven Sins. And basically, the premise of the story is this movie was a bit like, kind of like The Craft and Heathers kind of mixed in a little bit. It's kind of very teen kind of esque, kind of coming of age kind of movie. And it was based around 7 girls that were in a kind of like a gang that they call themselves the Seven Sins. So each of them takes a sin, if you like. And it centers around a kind of small kind of like town in the middle America somewhere. And we're not going to talk spoilers on all these, are we? Because obviously some of these films aren't out and people might be listening that want to check out these movies. So just...
I'll do my best.
Well, yeah, we'll do our best, like normal. And it centers around these 7 girls. And it's kind of got like a bit of a bullying theme running through it. And these girls kind of start getting picked off one by one. Yeah, there's not much I can say about this. It wasn't the greatest film, to be honest. The dialogue was pretty good. The acting was a little bit dodgy in places. The cinematography was quite nice, but the storyline for me just went a bit kind of skew whiff at the end. And I kind of put it out to people on the Fright Fest kind of Facebook page, and a lot of people were kind of saying, yeah, it was really good and stuff. It had really good beats to it, but the ending was a little bit meh. I hate you saying that, but it just was a bit. It wasn't great, but maybe. I think there's elements of the film you would have liked.
Maybe I did alright missing that one then.
Maybe, but I think you would have liked it because there was a lot of young girls.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Not
dude.
young girls, I'm not saying you're a pedo or anything, but...
Thanks.
had a lot of girls in long socks and...
I might have a little bit of a pop sock fetish. But on, adult...
You're only a man.
Adult ladies.
But it wasn't the worst film ever.
Right,
Do you know what I mean? It was good. It was good to see something like that. And so we go on to the second movie of the night, which was called Held.
What's it called?
Held.
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 Held?
H-E-L-D.
Held.
Held.
As in, I held you in my
Held.
arms.
Yeah, or held up in somewhere, I suppose, in this aspect of the
Okay.
movie. So this one was centered around a couple that looked like they were having some trouble with their marriage, and they were going for a naughty weekend away in the middle of nowhere in this massive kind of really nice kind of house, but it was like a futuristic house. It's not set in the future. It's just it's kind of a house which is kind of like Fort Knox. So if it was to have an attack, it would kind of lock itself, and it's really safe because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a real high-tech kind of upgraded house. And so it centers around this couple. They're obviously having relationship issues. And then suddenly they go to bed and some shit starts to happen to them while they're asleep. I'm not going to say what because I don't want to spoil it. And then they wake up and they're like, what the fuck?
Like Paranormal Activity.
Not necessarily. It's not paranormal. I'll say that.
Ooh.
And then they wake up and some shit's gone down and like, what the hell? Someone's been in the house. What? How did this happen? Blah, 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 blah. And then the house shuts down. So all the windows and doors get locked and the shutters come down. There's no way out of the house. And they figure out they're being watched by cameras in the house. And this leads to some really kind of crazy twists, some turns, some kind of things that happen. It was a really clever film. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. The feedback that I saw about it as well came back that a lot of people really liked it. Again, the acting was a little bit dodgy in places, but the whole running theme through the movie and the twists were really good. And it was an interesting film, but I enjoyed that one.
Oh, mate, that sounds quite interesting, quite Black Mirror-ish sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd say maybe, yeah, but it was less futuristic. It was like more. It was kind of more dealing with an issue of the couple and surrounding things. I don't want to go into it too much to spoil things for the plot, because the plot is integral to to marry up with the twists that happen. So
Mate, we just got to go balls deep and do spoilers, I think. Let's just talk the movie through.
So
Right.
anyway, that was the first day. Obviously, you weren't there, and then we went on to the Thursday and kicked it off where we were together for the evening shows.
Oh, yeah, we were together.
Not like that.
So, the first movie on the Thursday night we picked was The Brain That Wouldn't Die. This is the
You picked.
that I picked, and then I was not allowed to pick for the rest of the thing. No. This is the rehash of the 1962 B movie, the classic movie. And it is actually on Amazon Prime right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I bet you're going to watch it, right?
the original 1962 version, unreleased version as well. This movie is basically a complete scene from scene from the old black and white.
It looked that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're updated into colour. It's cheesy goodness. It's about a doctor who kind of a bit Reanimator style is doing experiments in his basement, and he's got a wife and he lops her head off, and he is basically trying to find a body for the whole for most of the movie, really,
Pretty much, yeah.
to hilarious sort of like consequences and stuff like that. I mean, it's some funny shit. We can just go into this because obviously this is a classic, so the story's kind of out there. It's been around now for like nearly 50, 60 years. So I kind of had a affinity for this one. I liked it. It was very, cheesily acted, but that was kind of on purpose because it was very cheesy back in the day. The sequences were very fucking weird and wonderful. I thought the cinematography was spot on to what it would have been in the 60s, and the camera's usage that he'd actually used. But there's some fun. The reason they did this is some really funny outlandish moments within this movie, which is why it probably got why it's been, it's got a lot of love, why it's been remade. I mean, we've got a psycho prostitute who suddenly who's about to try and steal a body.
That was a really funny comedic moment.
Fucking hell, and she just starts chasing him around the fucking streets. That was ridiculously funny. There was a weirdest cat fight I think you'd ever seen in a movie. It was just so weird, and
It's very random.
when we looked at it and went, this obviously has to be in the original, and I've seen the original, obviously, cat fight, and it's it's pretty close.
Yeah.
it's just completely out of nowhere and weird.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this one?
Initially, I really didn't like this movie at first because it's one of those movies where it's a bit satire, and obviously it's obviously being like that. There's a reason why it's cheesiness acting. There's pauses between it and the characters and stuff, because it is taking literally like you said, it's taken the old movie beat for beat pretty much, even down to the kind of acting ways that it was acted back in the day. But then the more the film went on, the more I got used to the style of it, because it was really cheesy at the start. I thought, I'm not going to like this. But as it went on, I got used to the way it was being filmed, and I started to like it. And I thought it was quite cool by the end of it. I think I wasn't. I don't know what I was expecting from reading the synopsis. I didn't think it was going to be as B movie as it was.
This was
because it was like literally shot on stage sets and stuff.
Oh
like that.
yeah, this is like needs to be put on stage, in my opinion.
Yeah, it could easily be
we
a
did say
musical,
that it could
couldn't it?
easily
Yeah.
be like a.
It's almost like
musical.
a cross between kind of like Little Shop of Horrors and Reanimator.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's like chopped in bits and stuff. But I enjoyed it in the end, and I think when I reflected back on it, I enjoyed it more than I thought.
Yeah, we don't expect everyone to go out, but I mean, if you love your B movies out there and you really, really want to give this one a go, if you haven't seen this one in your catalogue of B movies, you've got to watch it. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. The 1962 version is on Amazon Prime if from the UK. I'm not sure about from America, but it's definitely worth a punt because it's a classic and it's got classic moments that are absolutely ridiculous. And if you like Reanimator, obviously the H.P. Lovecraft was written way before all this sort of stuff. It's got a lot of take homes from that in this movie. Definitely one that I enjoyed to start with.
Yeah, I enjoyed it in the end. I think it is. I think it might have been a bit because it was kind of like one of the first movie that opened where we were together, and it wasn't out and out horror, but I enjoyed it nevertheless.
That went out horror. It had a fucking monster. It had blood. It had limbs chopped off. It had deaths.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
All right, elements of horror.
Are we rating these, bud?
Yeah, let's do it. I think we need to rate them out of 10. I won't do the first two movies because you didn't see them. So let's start off with The Brain That Wouldn't Die. What would you give this one?
I mean,
you're going to be up on this.
This is going to get a nice 5 out of 10 for me. It's a nice average.
I think that's fair enough. Average for me. So 5 breaths out of 10.
And folks, unlike the August one, there are potentially some 9s in our. I think that we watched this weekend. There's some good bloody movies that we saw. So
yes.
They weren't all like 5s, which is fantastic. But dude, what did we watch next?
So the next movie that we watched, we were quite excited for because it was called The Banishing. So this one is from
Great title.
Yeah, it's quite a good title. So this is from director Christopher Smith, which you might have heard from, who did the movie Triangle, Severance, and Creep. Not Creep as in the serial guy. This one's a Creep about the guy that lives under the fucking subways and kills people. This had a couple of good actors in it. Sean Harris popped up, which is always a bonus. And the lead actor was Jessica Brown Finlay. I thought she was fantastic. So this movie is, let's say, it's kind of a haunted house kind of ghost story. It centers around a family that have just moved into this big house. It centers around a character which is the wife of a vicar, of the local parish, and they've moved into this new big massive house.
He's newly appointed
Yeah, newly appointed because his predecessor had died
in mysterious
in
circumstances.
mysterious circumstances. Yeah, and it kind of centers around his wife and what she goes through, and spooky shit starts happening, and you get quite a lot of kind of storyline running through with Sean Harris popping in now and again. Creepy Sean Harris. That's
Yeah,
unusual.
this had a lot of for me. This had a lot of with Chris Smith being at the helm. I thought more. Of
I
what
was
gonna
expecting
get.
way
I was
more,
expecting
to
way
be
more of
honest,
what I
yeah.
got.
Do you think?
And with Sean Harris in there as well. I mean, he's always a foreboding character, and he can act. The bloody man can act, but he was wasted in this movie.
Do you think it's because the potential the budget was quite smaller than the other movies, and he's been away for a long time, and this is his kind of like low budget one to get back on the scene?
Yeah,
maybe?
but it just it was hard to digest the story for one.
It was very slow.
Maybe I just don't like these. I think I just don't have an affinity for these classic ghost stories. I haven't seen one recently where I've liked.
Although we did
apart from The
rewatch
Conjuring.
the others, and we like that.
That's true. That is
you
fucking
know what I
true.
mean?
So maybe
Pulled out the bag by Mr. Dan Evans.
Yeah, but maybe I haven't seen a new one which
No.
that's really got me. That's like just a classic ghost story.
I think the storyline was hard to keep me invested as well. It was just really, really slow going in places.
Yeah, and the ending sucked.
It
The
was
end,
a
it
bit
didn't really
slow,
have an
yeah,
ending.
Yeah.
And I guess this is when you go back to like when you've got the likes of the Haunting of Bly Manor and the Haunting of Hill House, and how they sort of do those sequences very well and terror, and they do have a decent story. This one just didn't have that in an hour and a half, to be honest.
The pacing was a bit off.
Yeah,
I think that
and the main antagonist was kind of boring.
yeah, and it kind of whimpered out by the end. Like the ending let it down massively for me.
There was a nice Poltergeist 3 moment.
What was that? The
The inverted mirrors.
yes, yeah, I like that. That was kind of cool, and the cinematography was good as well. Give them that, and the sets were really nicely. Like the house is pretty cool, but yeah, I just couldn't. I don't know why I just couldn't get into it, and it was kind of a bit boring for me.
Yeah, they picked a good location and some good actors, and with a wasted storyline, in my opinion. That's pretty much what I got to say about this bad boy.
yeah. It wasn't one of my favourites of the festival. Let's put it that way.
It wasn't a highlight, definitely.
No. I mean, rating this one, I would probably give it 4 breaths out of 10.
Yeah, well, I was going for 3.
Ooh.
It was not even saved by Sean Harris on this one.
I like Sean Harris. I think but yeah.
Right, well, that's Thursday done.
Is that Thursday already?
Well,
We're on Friday already.
Friday, where we get 4 movies, 4 opportunities to get this right. Did they get it right on the first one? Well,
Bearing in mind, so we just watched The Brain That Wouldn't Die, followed by The Vanishing.
yeah.
And we weren't exactly like thrilled with them. It was okay. So we're leading into a brand new... Tomorrow's a new day. So we're excited. And what did we watch, Paul?
We picked up one called Don't Look Back.
Are you alright?
Just embarrassed.
Oh, don't be. Douglas.
Caitlin.
Well, have a good run, Caitlin. Help me.
What was it up against? Can
Which
you
now
remember?
I do look back and go.
Do you look back in anger?
Oh, there he goes. I mean, this is had a good premise, a good write up in terms of what it was about. It's a socially moral story looking at like society's inability to act on violence, and it's like our drive and our sort of like our instinct seems to be at the moment is to fucking
And morals.
Yeah, it seems to be grabbing our fucking phone and filming shit. That's what seems to be happening when stuff's going down. It's let's get the phone out, not act, not help. Let's get the phone out and film it. And I suppose it's dealt with that in a bit. So kind of like, okay, that's not a bad start off of the story. And I suppose we asked ourselves the question: would we intervene if we saw someone assaulted in the street? I was like, very much, yeah, of course I fucking would. I'd try and drop kick the fucker. I'd like to think that I was that. I would like to think that I was that person, but I don't know until it happened to me, and it's never happened to me, and so I don't know. But it sort of goes on. I know that I wouldn't film it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. No,
I would not get my fucking camera out.
nor would I. No.
So that's that. I'm not that guy. But it's sort of, you got to ask yourselves if you are that person that would film it, or would you be at least someone who called the fucking cops? Because that seems to be even lacking. But it's and then it follows like the people that sort of were around the incident, and then
it's from the guy that did.
Yeah, it's from
Final
the
Destination,
producer. I
producer.
think it's the producer or the creator who did Final Destination.
Yeah.
So it had that kind of vibe. It really did. It kind of had like, is death coming for you? Is something coming for you? Has it like, it's got someone's got some
karma.
Yeah, is karma coming around to sort you out in a very low budget way?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It was the sort of movie where I think that you flick on the TV on the afternoon in the midweek and you go, what the fuck is this? Because it was just so slow and really poorly acted.
Yeah, no saving
I just think
grace in
that
this one.
the idea with this movie was there and the premise sounds good. Just think the execution of the way that the actors were chosen, the casting, I just don't think it was right. It just felt really just a bit fluffy and a bit kind of like TV-ish.
Yeah,
like
very
a TV movie.
like Hallmark Channel sort of
Yeah.
story.
I just couldn't get into it, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe if this movie came out in the 90s it probably would have done really, really well, kind of thing. Like people would have really loved it maybe, but yeah, I couldn't get around to really getting into it, and it was just, yeah, I mean the way it followed around each person, and it was just like it sent around this one girl that witnessed it, and she actually did call the cops, didn't she? She was just involved. And each person that witnessed it, that it just one by one, they're getting kind of like followed around, and she's happens to be there every time, and it's just didn't seem realistic.
One redeeming thing from the movie, it did have the Ranger in it.
Yes, it did.
So,
yeah, from the
Ranger, it
yeah.
had the Ranger in it, so that was quite interesting. He played the main investigating cop, I suppose, in it.
And he was wasted.
Yeah. Because I think he's a fucking huge guy, and
A great
I think
actor as well, and he was just wasted.
He needs to be the aggressor. He needs to be the villain again. I like to see him in another sort of form. So yeah, starting a day, not that great.
How many breaths out of 10 are you giving it?
It's probably the same as The Vanishing. Probably about a 3.
3 for me.
Yeah.
Possibly even a 2. But yeah, I just wasn't impressed, and I was like, for God's sake, please.
This might have been the worst of the weekend.
Let us have a good movie, which followed up with a little movie called Tailgate. So this movie, we were a bit kind of like, we were really in mind, like we were picking our movies right at the last minute. So we didn't, last time we chose each movie and we were like, right, we're going to watch that, lock it in, purchase, done. This time we kind of like flitted between each one. Should we watch that? We just watched one that's similar. Should we do this? Blah, blah, blah. So we thought we'd go for Tailgate because, you know, saw that it was a Dutch movie. We'd not covered loads of Dutch movies and thought the premise of the movie sounds good, so we go for it. Tailgate.
I liked the premise of the movie. I picked this one. This is mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Like, you picked it, but I wasn't against it.
No,
at
you
all.
weren't. No,
Not at all. So this one is a movie literally about having good manners, not bullying people.
The Art of an Apology.
Yeah. So it's literally is what it is. The title is about a guy who's with his family. They're trying to get to his mum's for a gathering.
It's his birthday.
Oh, was it his birthday? I
It's
didn't
his
catch that. It's his birthday. They're going to his mum's for a gathering, and they're on the motorway, and there's a guy blocking the fast lane, and he's going probably the speed limit, but the driver of the car who wants to get to the party decides to drive up his ass along the motorway, and it basically becomes a cat and mouse game, because the driver of the van in front is not a guy that likes bad manners and likes to be bullied by people. So it's a bit of a cat and mouse game with other consequences in it, which I'm sure you're going to...
Yeah, I mean, we're introduced to... We're going to call him... Well, he's Ed the van driver.
Ed the van driver.
The
And he's a big guy.
He's
big
a fucking
guy.
foreboding guy, and he's basically got to be...
But he's old as well.
Yeah, villain of the year. Villain of the year, possibly. He's fucking incredible, this dude. He's so... It's like watching Human Centipede, where this... Like, it's just... Like, he's memorable, the guy in this, because he's just so calm, collecting in the way that he sort of goes about his revenge. And this is so, like... You know, not a slasher. This is just like shit that could happen to you on the fucking motorway.
Yeah, it's real, yeah.
You know, watch yourself. I mean, when Matt says about the tailgating incident, you know, somebody did it to him about 5 minutes earlier, and he got pissed off with the guy behind him, and he was like, and you know, so you could tell you're already getting this sort of opinion of the dad in this one, and he's got the dad, the mum, and 2 girls in the car. And all the action seems to take... A lot of the action takes place in this car. And this car gets fucking beaten up.
It's quite intense as well, because all the filming is kind of in the car, so you feel kind of a bit claustrophobic. And all around, I think everybody gives a great performance in this movie as well, even the kids.
Yeah.
It's so believable. The wife is brilliant. The dad is really good. But I think you're right, it does go to Ed, the main...
He's the MVP.
Yeah, because you're right. He literally looks like a normal bloke who's just calm, like, and it just looks like you piss him off, and he'll just like he won't let up.
It's sort of what you'd expect from like an Australian, like Wolf Creek.
Yeah,
that sort of instant. Jeepers Creepers, but obviously not supernatural. It's just like a chase movie. But he is something to do with, like, I was saying insecticide or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because the way he polishes people off.
Or attacks people is pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. He never runs.
Takes his time.
Takes his fucking time. And it's all in the dialogue, it's all in the exchange, it's all in the eyes, and just him makes you think, fuck, I don't want to fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But you would. If you were, you know, in an instant, you kind of think, fuck off. you know, jog on, I suppose. But just don't go tailgating, guys, because Ed the van driver could be out there.
Great movie.
This is a cracking movie.
It was really good. I found it really. I mean, we both really enjoyed it. It was just like really fast paced. It had a good storyline, great acting, and the thing is, it made you feel uneasy, and it made you feel like it. I was totally engrossed in this movie the whole time, and I thought it was fantastic.
Real original storytelling.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
What do you reckon? Room for another one?
There's always room for another one.
I'd love to see another one.
I'd watch it.
Tailgate 2.
I mean, I'm going to watch the actor.
Yeah.
And really find out like what.
I checked him out on IMDb. It's not even got a photo to his IMDb.
So
I'm
he's
like,
newbie.
fuck, what?
I'd
I'd love to see him. Tailgate 2, mate. Maybe he changes professions. Maybe he becomes a lumberjack.
Yeah. It's
It's
almost like a reverse kind of rock movie where, you know, somebody pisses the rock off and he gets a big fucking plank of wood and starts like kicking the shit out of people.
You've hit the fucking nail on the head there, no pun intended. But any money that you'll see this get remade in America, I guarantee you'll see it just pop up and be like, guess what? You know, the Americans are going to do? They're going to make a remake of the Dutch film Tailgate.
It's not their movie, that sort of movie though, because it's got no...
Who would they cast as Ed?
It's not really got a happy ending. Ed's not a good guy.
No.
But their sort of version of that is, that, like I said, The Rock beating up a whole fucking town, you know, of someone just being like attitudey to him. But
I don't know. They could make a gritty. They could make a gritty.
It'd be interesting, like Quarantine.
I'd love to cast that. Cast Ed. Who would you cast Ed as?
I don't know.
Don't pick Dave Bautista again.
No, it's got to be someone older.
That's what I mean. It's got to be someone old. I
Well,
reckon
the thing is-
Josh Brolin.
Thing is, you say like Clint.
Josh Brolin.
No, you're looking at Clint Eastwood.
I
But
know
maybe
he's too old. He's too old.
Charles Dance.
No,
No,
you
not
can't even
Charles
hear.
Dance. Jorah Mormont.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
He'd be good.
But he'd have to be American. That's the thing.
Yeah, we could do. They could pull that off.
Maybe.
He
Yeah.
doesn't have to be American. He could just be that guy. Jorah Mormont could do.
It's got to be American if it's a remake, mate.
I
It's
don't
got to
know.
appeal to the masses.
I could see Jorah Mormont doing it.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know his fucking name. Interesting.
So what do we watch next? Oh no, we've got to rate this one, haven't we? Sorry.
8 for me.
8. I'd go with that.
High 8.
8, yeah.
High 8.
I wouldn't go any higher than that though.
Yeah,
8,
it's one of my
8.
fucking favourites of the weekend. Really,
It
really
was
good.
great fun, and it was good because I don't know whether the impact of the movies before it not being so great, but it was like finally something that was really, really good that we really enjoyed.
Yeah.
What was next, Paul?
Well, next we get a movie called The Owners.
Tell me what's going on!
Which is a sort of reverse home invasion movie starring Maisie Williams, Sylvester McCoy, to name a few. It has old Gadget from This Is England.
And plus, we had a little visitor as well, didn't we, Paul? Mr. Simon Douse popped round to view some of the movies with us.
Yes, we did. Thank you, Mr. Doust. We had a friend pop round to watch The Owners and the next movies as well. And we had a good time. We had a good Friday night.
Played some Micro Machines.
Played some Micro Machines and, watched some fucking good horror.
And you cooked some nice food. That was really nice.
I cooked some chicken nachos.
Oh, that's nice.
Bloody good food. But this one was good. This one was good fun. We've got a group of teenagers. It's set in the 90s. They're going in to rob a house. They know there's a safe there. And they are going to wait until the owners come home to kind of muscle the safe code out of them. And shit goes wrong.
Shit does go wrong.
For whom? That is the question, though. So, what do you think?
I fucking loved this movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The acting is superb in this, and I've got to give it to one of my favourites in it was Sylvester McCoy. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
You got him and his wife, who like the Ed the Van Driver, I suppose. You got the OAPs are the fucking MVPs in this fucking whole Fright Fest. It's just like, they're getting on a bit. They just find a way. They just find a way to break you down. It's very interesting. Like,
You're right. There is like a theme for this Fright Fest, and it's OAPs.
wow,
We'll get onto that in a bit as well.
yeah, it's this was fucking awesome. It was such a fun movie.
I've got to say, another character that in this movie that absolutely chewed the scenery, that stood out a mile, and we'll see loads more from him, is the character in it was the name of Gaz.
Oh yeah,
Utter bastard.
yeah. Like Eden Lake, we get an utter bastard, and Gaz is the utter bastard. But does he get a fucking sledgehammer to her head? I don't know. You're just gonna have to wait and see.
The dialogue though is awesome. It's like whoever did the writing for this is brilliant, because he goes off on a little monologue, and it's really, really cool. I really love that bit. And it's shot. And again, another really good, cool looking kind of house, which was cool. Maisie Williams, I don't know, I just felt like she was a little bit underused in this. A little bit.
She did a job though. She was like, the sort of final girl, I suppose, if you like. Well, sort of, in a way.
Don't spoil anything,
In a
Paul.
way.
Easy.
But there was lots of 90s like throwbacks as well. We've had the 80s throwbacks. There's some 90s throwbacks. We've got a nice little Nokia sound like phone and stuff like that. You got the gay ear for the earring mentioned as well. I don't know if any of you were in school, and that was always mentioned. There's always apparently a gay ear for your earring.
That would have been
Some right cunty characters. Window licker was mentioned. That's an old fucking term as well.
We're PC on this podcast.
Yeah.
No, you can't say that.
Well, I didn't say it. They did. So just saying there. And it's just it's a bit dark. It's a
Got
bit
some
fucked
great
up.
twists.
Twisted to fuck. Some great twists. You know, you won't really know too well where this is going.
I enjoyed this thoroughly.
Fucking right. Really did. Good Friday night. Good first one for Simon to watch. He's lucky.
He is lucky.
Is this one. And for me, this is getting another 8.
Yeah, I was going to say 8 as
It
well.
is an 8.
Solid 8. Solid.
Yeah, this is another good one. We're like, fuck.
You've got to seek this one out if it comes out on digital.
We
or
will
DVD.
we will see this one digitally.
I'd see it again as well. I'd
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
watch it again. It's definitely got rewatchability as well.
Really fucking go for it. Smash it. Then, mate, what do we have to close the night?
Oh, mate. It closed with a banger. A little movie called Spare Parts.
What have you done to me?
It's okay. You've been chosen. To appease the gods.
So this, I didn't realise this, but this is from the guy that brought us, executive producer of Sky Sharks. Oh dear.
Really?
But he also produced another film that was shown that we didn't see called For the Sake of Vicious, that we actually missed. But his name is Andrew Thomas Hunt. He's the director of this movie and writer. And it centers around an all-girl punk band that are basically, the opening scene is fantastic. And they're playing in a bar and they're getting rowdy and the whole place kicks off. And
MS-45 they're called.
that's it, MS-45. And then basically they get chucked out of the club and they just get stopped down and they need to basically get their car fixed because they get kind of flat tires on the way out from this little kind of small
Well,
town.
they go for this little ruck and they got, you know, they're getting a bit of attention, obviously being 4 punk girls and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Two of the bands are together, and the other 2 are kind of like, one's got a boyfriend, one's got kind of free reign to go and fuck who she wants, and she does.
So they
But-
get the, oh sorry,
but
I was trying to
you
explain
are
the
right.
premise.
You are right. They still get run off the road.
Yeah, and then they need to basically get their car fixed. So obviously the sheriff comes along and a mechanic and says, "Oh yeah, we'll fix your car. We'll take you to this kind of repair shop." And it's like this really massive, huge fuck off junkyard in the middle of nowhere. And basically shit starts to go down. And I don't think this is a spoiler because it's in the trailers anyway. They get drugged and wake up and they basically have their limbs replaced with like fucking axes and knives and shit.
Well, they become Swiss Army knives, don't they?
Yeah.
Effectively, they've got almost like a metal thing with a bone stump,
Yeah,
shaved bone.
that's it. It's like a kind of like
It's like a clip-on.
clip-on,
So
yeah,
they can get
sword.
they can get weapons attached to them. And
This is weapons that are not like guns. It's like, wow, actually, come to think of it. But that, yeah. So they're there and they get thrown into predicaments.
into a gladiator ring, effectively.
Pretty much, yeah.
As soon as it's like basically like some dodgy cult, that's like, you know, staging gladiator fights, and they're getting trained up by this big fucking huge guy.
It does look like it's kind of set in the future as well, doesn't it? Like
Bit
an
Mad
apocalyptic-
Maxian, yeah.
Yeah, apocalyptic kind of.
But maybe that's because we're just seeing the whole junkyard thing. That's the only thing I
Maybe.
think. But you know, yeah, fucking, and they're feeding. I think they're feeding them with the limbs that they've cut off, like
That's
people and
correct,
stuff like that as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Fucking, so you find that shit. There's some lovely little sequences in this movie. Some great entertaining fight scenes. Plenty of fucking gore. I mean, we're
Loads of
talking
gore.
some eye popping. I mean, one of the girls was pregnant. There's a spoiler for you. This is
Oh
definitely
god,
a
don't
spoiler.
spoil that bit. That was fucking
Oh,
awesome. That was genius. That
really?
bit. Yeah, don't do it.
Oh, okay.
It's not fair to the audience.
That's a fucking.
All right, if you do say it, but if you don't want to hear this, fast forward it 30 seconds. So what happens? Because it was a bit of a shock moment where we were like, no, what the fuck?
One of the girls was pregnant
In the early stages.
in the early stages, and they display her removed fetus to.
Because one of the girls goes, "Don't you know she's pregnant?" And she said, we took care of that.
Yeah,
And they've got it in a little fucking jar. And it's fucking sick.
fucked up, man. But that's a sort of.
That was I'd say that was one of the best what the fuck moments of the festival. Because
Yeah,
there's a
there's
few.
one more later that's probably tops it.
Oh yeah, without doubt. Yeah.
But there's some good shit. There's some, like, you know, you've got some funny Karma armor, some brilliant fights against bikers, and some really funny, entertaining, gory deaths.
It was just really good fun, wasn't it? It was good fun watching it, because it's like, you've just got to let your inhibitions go with this one and just enjoy it for what it is. Don't think about it too much, because if you think about it too much, you're going to, oh, it's a bit cheesy. But it's supposed to be like that.
Big time.
It's big fun. It's just like, let your hair down, eat some fucking popcorn, and fucking watch some blood fly all over the place.
Bit of fine tuning, and this has got a real fucking, like, production value to any fucking audience.
Mate, this is the ones that come into the store straight to DVD chart, and we fucking sell them all. And you see it in Asda, it'll sell, because this shit sells.
Yeah.
People love that stuff.
Great name, Spare Parts. You know, fucking right.
Mate, everyone's a winner.
Love this one.
I think for this one, I'm going to give it 8 breasts out of 10.
It's
Again.
another 8 for me.
Yeah, definitely.
There is a 9 later.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 2. But this was a fucking good 8. This is fucking good fun.
It was such good fun. And it's good to end the night off, because it was just, yeah. Not once did I drift off like sleeping. Sometimes we do drift off sleeping if it's a slow going movie.
This is true.
This was full on.
Right. So all that love less. Let's move on to Saturday.
Saturday.
Right. Steve Guttenberg
The
in
Goot.
Heckle for about 5 minutes.
We were robbed.
We were robbed. I feel robbed of the goot. So we watched the first movie of the day. Is called Heckle. It's a slasher. Yes, it is just effectively a slasher in the English countryside, I guess. A sort of slasher revenge movie, I would kind of say, with some weird twisty turnies things, but ones I didn't really give that much of a shit about, because this was the premise of this is like, okay, so comedian Rory Walker gets shot in the fucking face in the start, and they're going to make a movie of his life, and the comedian gets picked to play him. He gets heckled on stage and is kind of feels belittled, and is kind of just follows him, kind of getting over this big heckle, I suppose, and hence the name. And he feels stalked throughout the movie, and then they go to this big fucking house and have this 80s party of all these weirdos, you know, bohemian types, and then they get picked off one by one by whom? We just don't know.
So that's the thing. You explain it there. I know we weren't.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
sounds
the thing.
good.
When I've read, right, one, Steve Guttenberg's in it. Tick. They go to an 80s party in the middle of nowhere. Tick. Didn't know it was England, so to be fair. And I was thinking, this is going to be great. This is going to be like Steve Guttenberg, kind of like going to an 80s party, playing himself. They're probably gonna have nods to all his kind of movies, and that's like just subtle nods to his movies, which they could have gone to town with this, which they didn't. And I love Steve Guttenberg. I think he's great, but we were duped.
Weren't we, Jeff?
I mean, he was great, and the scenes he was in, fucking awesome.
Yeah, he plays a character. He's a
because this is the Goot we've not seen before.
No, he's a fucking arsehole. He's a big, fat, chunky, fucking mouthy, swearing bastard. And
yeah, it sounds like he's from the Bronx, doesn't he? You fucking talk to me, you fucking
doesn't tolerate crap service. I can tell you that for nothing.
Angry man.
He's a fucking angry bastard.
But saying this, even the Gutenberg couldn't save this movie. It was so poor. The pacing was terrible. The acting from the other actors was horrific in some places. And it felt to me, I know that some of these films might not be completely finished, but it felt like the editing on this was not finished. And there was bits missing out of this film because it didn't make sense. There was like a whole car thing where they were getting kind of like the comedian guy was in the car. Well, we think it's the comedian guy in the car with his girlfriend on the way to the country manor house. And they're getting like basically tailgated by this person. But all it does is show that from an aerial shot. No shot in the car of them saying what the hell's going on, which you think you would have had. to add to all the kind of storyline. And it just felt so unfinished.
Yeah.
So unfinished.
There was no tension created. Some of the character relationships were fucking weird. Like, you know, there could have been some would they, wouldn't they do it, you know, moments. Some weird sex moments that didn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah, it felt weird.
It's just like, it was just fucking weird batshit.
Nonsense,
really.
Again, the premise of the story sounds pretty cool, but it was
Yeah.
just executed so poorly.
I mean, when you start seeing the killings, there were pumpkins. You know, they started putting pumpkins on their heads, and it's like, why? Is it Halloween? I mean, why is it Halloween? Really, I suppose, but it's just like, I don't know. That was kind of a weird thing because there was no reason to kill people like that because it had no relevance to kind of why they were doing the original thing. I think did I miss something?
No, I mean it didn't feel believable either because the group of friends that went there, they didn't even feel like friends. They just felt like a bunch of people they've casted in the movie, including Danny Dyer. That's not Danny Dyer as in the man. It's Danny Dyer as in his daughter. My Christ. It didn't sound believable. It's just like they've got these 6 or 7 people that just didn't really know each other and didn't really have much relation. I didn't even know if he was going out with that girl or not. It didn't explain it. Was it his girlfriend or was it not? Then his ex-wife turns up. She's not. What's going on? It's just so weird. It's such a strange movie.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a spa and, you know.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And then have a really weird confrontational thing with another guy bare naked. It was just the whole thing was just weird and uncomfortable, and yeah,
didn't really get on with this one.
No, I'm afraid not.
This was the dud.
What are you going to give this one then, bud?
1. Lucky it got 1.
Fuck, I was going to give it a 2 just because of the Gutenberg.
Really?
Yeah,
I got a 1 because of the Goot.
All right, we'll
So
go
there's
for
nothing else to
we'll
from
go
it.
for a 1. A 1. That's probably the worst. I think that's probably the worst rated film that we've seen at Fright Fest. A 1. I don't think we've ever given a 1 to anything.
I like shit movies, but this was just too much for me. It's just nothing.
It wasn't shit good though, was it? No. Even that?
No.
Unfortunately not.
But then I had to go and do take care of some shit. So Matt had to go and fend for himself with this next one. So you're going to have to let me know what this bad boy was like.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shame because this is it's right up your street. It's not my sort of thing, but I believe that you would have really liked this. So when it does come out, I think you really need to catch it because I think it's in your kind of wheelhouse kind of thing. Again, it's a film called Cyst. Again, it's set in the 60s. So it centers around the 60s kind of era. And it's about a nurse that is her last day in this clinic that removes cysts on people. And these aren't just little tiny cysts or you've seen. These are fucking disgusting, huge, full of pus cysts on people's necks and backs. And it opens with the scene of this woman just going in there. And it's supposed to be kind of comedic in areas as well. So it's a kind of like slight comedy, monster movie, kind of body horror gore movie, I'd say. And this woman goes into the clinic and she's got this huge cyst on her neck. And literally the doctor is just like, couldn't give a shit. He's poking it and prodding it and literally like lances it. And all this pus shoots out into the nurse's face and it goes in her mouth and all over her body. It's just made me feel sick. It was so fucking gross. So yeah, it's around this nurse it's her last day at the clinic because she's just had enough of work in there. And this doctor's made a brand new machine and it's a quicker way of removing cysts. So you don't have to, pop them and stuff. You just pop this kind of vacuum thing on it, chop the cyst off, doesn't hurt. And he's trying to get a patent for it. So he wants to get this machine made. And it sounds like when they talk in the movie, he's had it they've come and seen it before, but it hasn't worked. And it's been a crap kind of like demonstration of his machine. So he's got these people coming back to try out the machine again, if you will. And it's got a lot of comedy moments. And he kind of has to get a test subject to who's got a gigantic cyst and he can't find anybody. So he basically makes a cyst on one of his assistants to remove with the machine. somehow the machine goes wrong, and there's one scene that I have to mention because it will draw people in. There's a guy that gets the cyst removed by the machine, and he gets turned inside out.
Okay.
And
I'm in.
Pretty crazy. It's practical effects. It's pretty crazy. It's not the most amazing. It's not got a big massive budget, so hats off to it for that. And then the machine produces this kind of crazy monster cyst that goes around killing people.
Like the Blob sort of thing.
Kind of. It's not a blob. It's more like a monster, but it is all set in this one kind of location in this hospital. And it is the creature itself isn't the best, but I don't think it's supposed to be, because I think it's like a nod to the kind of 60s B movies again, and it's got a lot of funny bits in it. But it's definitely worth a watch. But it's not the most amazing movie ever. But it has got a cameo. He's in it. A guy from The Room called Greg Sestero.
Oh, it's got really? Okay.
He's in it quite a lot, actually. And I thought of you as soon as he kind of came off. Oh, Paul would know straight away who he is. But yeah, it's a good watch. I mean, the acting's good. I think you'd enjoy it. I'd definitely go and watch it if it was on like a streaming service or something like that.
All right, mate. You sold me. I'm fucking in.
And this next one, you're a bastard. You got this one. I wanted this one.
For this next movie, we picked a film called June Drifter.
Anyone, do you copy? This is Grey 6. Does anyone copy? I'm on the planet's surface requesting immediate extraction. My transponder's been damaged. I'm on the planet's surface. You have to hear me.
There's something else down here with me.
Matt picked it, so this is from the same guy who did Colin, the movie that was the zombie movie that was shot on a mobile phone
for £40.
£50 it was.
£40.
£50.
£40.
All right, we agree.
Do your research.
It's £50.
40.
Okay. This movie was made for 750k. So I think we're agreeing that the budget is around £50 for the Colin. And for June Drifter, it's not a lot. It's about it's about less than $1 million. All right, so it's not that expensive. But he did a lot of the special effects and stuff in his own home. It's a real sort of DIY job. This, however, the movie is about a group of fucking space pilots who are about to sort of go into a bit of a dogfight in space against a Benster foe. One of them sort of gets taken out and ends up crash landing on a nearby planet. And they also see at the same time. I mean, you got to understand in these ships. There's a gunner, and like in Star Wars. There's a gunner and there's a pilot. All right, and so both of them are crash landed. The gunner's sort of doing better than the pilot. And she's like, rushing around, like getting at all the survival gear. They got some good survival gear and some good special effects to sort of add to it, which is cool considering the budget. And they also see a alien craft crash land. Fuck knows, probably about 30k away. And they've got to survive a few nights, and they're getting tormented throughout by possible beasts that are on the planet. And they got a problem of how they're going to get off. The pilot's sort of dying as well at the same time, and it's a real sort of like race against time to sort of get off this planet. And before the rest of the kind of the rest of the ships, what do you call it? A group of ships, Armada, sort of fuck off. Basically. And this was fantastic from start to finish. Really. The poster looks great.
Yeah.
This had some real interesting dialogue, like interactions at the start, some good banter from no budget, and the way they filmed the cockpits and stuff like that. It's fucking
So clever.
fantastic. So from a DIY aspect, it gets a massive fucking tick. The dialogue used, it gets a massive fucking tick. The tension and all the rest of the stuff, and the interchange between our main protagonist and the actual antagonist, the aliens and the supposed foes, who are like steroid humanoid freaks and stuff like that. Fucking great effort. And you like this one a lot, didn't
I
you?
absolutely love this. It's one of my favourites of the festival. I think I lean to this kind of stuff sometimes more than I think I like this sort of sci-fi kind of edge of horror. I just think it's so cleverly done. It reminded me of a film called, I spoke to you on the day about a film called Enemy Mine. Very, very, I wonder if you got some kind of idea, because Mark Price, the guy that did it, he directed it and wrote it. So I think that's incredible on its own. Like you said, small budget, like the way they did the spaceships. I think the spaceship scene was really cool, and the dialogue between them was cool in the build up. I think it was maybe a little bit tad too long in space. Maybe it could be tightened a little bit, but no, who am I to say? But when you actually get into the story after the crash, it just keeps running and running, and you're just totally invested in it. Because, like you say, it's a countdown. I think, isn't it, got 80 hours or something till their suits kind of give up?
Yeah, it is definitely a count.
Which is they're in peril. So she's in peril, and like you said, the lead actor Phoebe Sparrow, who plays Adler, absolutely brilliant, considering she's behind a mask pretty much the whole film, pretty much. But the way everything was designed, and the suits and the spaceships, and so clever, and the way it's shot as well, and because the landscape is Iceland.
That's where they shot. So they shot most of it in his living room.
Yeah,
and then the rest of it in Iceland.
which was that is just, the landscape there is just unbelievable, and it just, the way the cinematography is done. Like I said to you again when we were watching it, I said, like, this guy will be doing, I bet you anything, like an episode of fucking Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, because he said at the start he had 7 days in Iceland, and to pull that all off that he did, and all the set sequences that they actually managed to do,
Unbelievable.
It's fucking nuts.
I think this clashed with something that was quite big as well, because the response when I put it out on this wasn't great. So I think a lot of people missed it, which is a real shame. But if you get a chance to watch it, I absolutely fucking love this. And this is getting 9 breaths from me.
Totally. 9 breaths from me as well.
Doubt, mate, because I just really enjoyed it. It just hit every beat with me. And if that comes out on Blu-ray, I'm buying it. I want to see the extras. And I can guarantee there'll be loads on there. And I'd love to watch all that shit.
Yeah, and good luck in 2 years, mate. We might actually see this in the UK.
Or 4 years, yeah.
But yeah, fucking
Fingers
phenomenal.
crossed.
Phenomenal job. Oh my God. We're going on to the next one, which is probably the funnest experience I've ever had at a Fright Fest. Oh my God.
This is the first one we put on the projector as well, wasn't it?
This isn't me. This is you. Oh, over to you, Matthew.
Oh yeah, it's me. Yeah, Doomdrift. Doomdrift, was you. Yeah. Embryo. We watched Embryo. Yeah, next movie. no, I'm only joking. So this was the first one we watched on the projector screen, because I thought I'd get it out for the last couple of movies, which would be cool. So this one is Embryo. It's by Patricio Valderes, which he has done a former movie that we saw at an opener at Fright Fest I think it's about 4 years ago, that we possibly saw 4 years ago, called Downhill, which we weren't massive fans of, but we appreciate some elements of it. So it's basically, it's kind of a found footage movie that flits between all different years. We kind of don't know much other than that, because there's no fucking subtitles on this movie, and the movie's from Chile. Was that right?
It's a Chile, yeah. So yeah, no subtitles.
So it's like a found footage movie with no subtitles.
Not much dialogue in it though, to be fair. But it would have helped, I think, a little bit of it. So it kind of flitted between kind of eras as well. So it's hard to kind of like know where it's going. But these stories were going to interlock at some point, I would imagine. But yeah, the opening scene, there's a girl and a bloke in a tent. The girl comes out of the tent, and the man finds her all covered in some kind of alien spunk. And she decides to become kind of like obsessed, like sexually attracted to people, then coming onto them
like a bit of like a species kind of thing.
Yeah, go for that.
Because I'm thinking, does she want to get impregnated? And then she doesn't. She just kind of licks them and then kind of grinds them and then fucking munches on them.
Yeah, takes their intestines out.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, what did you think about this?
Alien spunk movie, fucked up alien rape movie. I don't know, man. All the what I could make out from watching it without any
It
subtitles.
wasn't a very long film either, was it?
Nah, but thank God. But there was a great interchange on Facebook and stuff like that because everyone was like fucking like,
Yeah, that was funny.
making up their own sort of lines and
Because some people had put descriptive text on, didn't they?
yeah,
So,
and it would come up with some really random things about IKEA and fucking stupid shit like that.
growling in jungle.
Yeah, it was fucking like iPod Man or something like that. It was fucking weird. It's just alien porn movie really. There's some of the breakaway sequences were ropey. You know, like you look at like Alien Abduction, all those sort of some of those movies are done pretty poorly, but this one just takes it to another level.
I think the fact that you don't really see the creature annoys me. The fact it kind of shies away from that. I know it kept a real low budget, but you don't really get hardly any glimpse,
Nah,
which was a bit annoying, I felt.
just felt like this fucking he just felt like this fucking alien was going around raping women for the last like I don't know 15 years
Yeah.
or something like that. There's possibly a Taken moment where there's an alien hybrid human thing going on which is being stalked, and you're like, okay, there's that kind of
I think there was a kind of hunter dude. A guy was
There's a
hunting it
hunter.
down, but we didn't quite know
yeah,
because of the
hunter
dialogue.
detective who was playing all the tapes, and there was like a little bit of shot in London for some random reason. And
Mate, that was blatantly his kind of holiday fucking video that he just spliced into it to give it a bit of 5 minutes extra. But I feel bad for the director because I suppose a lot of people probably would have been. I think a lot of people did actually switch it off because there were no subtitles. But hey, we'll never know.
It wasn't great.
What are you giving this one, bud?
2, maybe 3. 3 for being fucking hilarious.
I think 3
Three.
because we did have a chuckle now. and then,
Yeah,
didn't
we did have chuckle, and it was for spunk. A lot of the spunk covered people were fucking funny.
What was next, bud? What did we have on that night to close it off?
Okay, the next movie I'm going to bring to you comes from Adam Leder and Richard Oakes. It's called Hosts, not Host. Hosts. We've already had Host. This one's called Hosts. This is I don't know, what do you call it? A fucking demon home invasion movie, maybe, I suppose. It stars Neil Ward, Nadia Lemen, Frank Jakeman, Sandra Howard Williams. I mean, Lee Hunter. These are worth mentioning because they are fucking. It's got a small cast: Samantha Loxley, Jennifer K. Preston, and little Buddy Skelton. It's got a really small cast. It's probably the MVP of the fucking weekend for me. It's how the fuck can I describe this? We got a couple who were about to go to a family, go to a neighbours Christmas dinner. Okay, so it's Christmas time. It's a Christmas movie, Christmas dinner. They get invited. Something weird happens before they go. We're not really sure what's happening, and then they come over all fucking weird and strange. I mean, you know immediately something fucked up happened to them both. They sit at a table and they're chatting. They're not saying a fucking word, these two people. It's weird. We'll get onto that in a minute. And then, boom, something fucking changes the night. Something that we will never forget. Ever. Me and Matt had a fucking our biggest mouth drop moment ever watching this movie.
Wow, fucking mouth drop. I fucking screamed and I was like, looked at your face and we looked at each other and we were like, what the fuck?
Fuck me. I mean, this has got one of the best
Shock moments.
shock moment, head smash. If I'm going to spot it.
Oh, you fucking just spot it. People weren't
I
fucking
don't give a fuck.
open.
It's just got one of the fucking most shocking moments I've ever seen
Oh dear.
in any movie.
He's gone and blown his load.
It's genius. Out of all the movies that we mentioned this weekend, you have to go and see this. This should get a general release. It's fucking awesome. There are some absolutely amazing special effects, some amazing sequences to watch, some acting which is just strange, batshit weird. but just can't pull your fucking eyes off what is going on. And the story in the end, the twist and stuff like that, very clever. Very clever for a fucking little tight British horror. After we got Host, we got Hosts. That's what I'm saying. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't think it was that good. No, I'm only joking. I mean, you covered most of it, mate, to be honest. Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Proud to be from this country watching this. Like you said, with Hosts coming out. I don't want to mention that all the time, but with Hosts coming out and then Hosts, this movie is fan-fucking-tastic. I was blown away. I didn't know what to expect from the start, but the lore behind it I really like. I'm not going to spoil it, but the run up to it, like you said, the acting is just phenomenal. There's some set pieces that are fantastic. I mean, I was so kind of like blown away by the movie, I couldn't go to sleep, and I was like, I thought I'd go on they had a Zoom kind of chat afterwards, which is live on YouTube. And I thought, I'll go and have a look because, like, you know, I'd like to hear more about the movie and how they made it and stuff. And it was so interesting because the whole movie is made in one of the director's houses and they did all night shoots. So that on its own is just like, fuck, they did it all themselves. They did, you know, they really went to town on it. And the house is literally decorated how it is. But there's some beautiful shots in this movie, absolutely beautiful shots. And the story is fantastic. Absolutely blown away by this movie. Without a doubt, one of the best movies I've seen this festival, if not the whole festival. I absolutely loved it.
This is a proper horror. What it gives you is it gives you the blood, the gore, the shock, the tension, the real sort of like chase, you know, the little jump scares you get in horror, and also just like, what the fuck is going on? I can't figure out what this is actually, is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or what the fuck is actually happening. And it's so intriguing and interesting, and it asks questions as well. This is brilliant, and this is quite genius. I thought one of the best horror movies that I've seen in a fucking long time. I really, really like this one.
It was
really
brilliant.
nice one.
Brilliant. I would give this one definitely, without a doubt, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, this is another 9 for
and
me.
I do believe it's coming out soon on DVD. I think it's from the 7th or 9th November, around that time. So if I were you, I'd go and seek it out, VOD, or go and buy the DVD, because it will not let you down.
I hope it has a decent poster to really sort of sell it.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I think this film, you're going to see a lot of it. There's a lot of it. And
a lot more
watch
from
this
these
space.
fucking these directors.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, mate. I'd love to see more.
We've got some good talent. We've got some good fucking talent coming through. It's fucking awesome to see. I think, you know, we've seen some like good ones in the past year, past couple of years. The likes of like Dog Soldiers. You know, I'll put this right up there with that. And it's not about werewolves, but you know. Right then, mate. Take us on to Sunday.
Okay, so yeah, after that, we had the Sunday morning. I came around yours, and we watched a film called Scavenger, which was very interesting indeed. It's a bit of a kind of apocalyptic Mad Max. It's Argentinian, so it was subtitles. We did have subtitles for this one, thank God. So it follows this lady that's she basically looks like a female version of Mad Max, really.
Which
She's
is a bit like Furioso sort of thing.
a bit, yeah. So she is in a kind of apocalyptic world. She seems to have kind of like go to this market, kind of a black market, where she's taking some organs from some poor lad that she just killed, and she is sent to see an old woman, and this old woman wants her to go and do a job for her, which leads her to some kind of crazy fucking piss poor bar that has a brothel attached to it. And there's some batshit crazy shit in this. What did you think?
Well, if you want to watch a movie that has complete and utter gratuitous violence, some great fucking blood, a whisk shotgun fucking death scene, which is fucking fantastic, and if you want to watch someone being finger banged by their own sister, you know, It's up to you.
I felt that in some places in the film it went a bit too far for me. I don't know if there's a boundary with you, but there definitely is with me, and I think this overstepped it a little bit too much on that kind of way. I don't think it needed to be that gratuitous, especially for the I thought the revenge was going to be a bit more, because it is. Let's be honest, it is a revenge movie.
It's hard,
with some
definitely.
twists and turns. Yeah, but you know, it kept me entertained, and I didn't think it was poorly paced.
This is like another Grindhouse flick, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, and it's in that sort of like guise. So just think, when we watched that sort of movie that you liked last year, was it the Brazilian one, with the pig heads and all that sort of stuff? Do you
I
remember
can't
that?
remember what it's called.
But yeah, it's just the real. You know, there's some real fucked up. There's some hard to watch moments in this movie. It doesn't deal with nice themes, you know. So it's got a warning. Over
Very degrading.
Yes, it's got a warning thing over it.
I mean, they even said it's not really for people who are kind of like, yeah. It was they warned you at the start. It's quite full on.
It is full on, and it doesn't hold back in its violence, and it deals with some really hard hitting themes and stuff in there. So sometimes I just don't think we need any of that anymore. I just think it's been done quite a lot. Don't know what your views on it, but I just feel like I think it's not important to shy away from these things, and it's sort of like it's
done in a right way.
It's done, but it's an outlet. It's art at the end. To me,
I don't think it was. I think it pushed it too far.
To me, it's art, and it's an outlet for, say, somebody who maybe has gone through that, and they can express that in a certain way. There you go.
I think that's like the worst fucking Office impression you've ever done for a start, and I think you're talking shit. But anyway, let's rate this thing. What are you giving it?
Rate this thing? What?
Rate this thing.
Sorry. I would give it a 6 out of 10.
I think I'd give it a 5.
Okay.
Middle of the road for me.
Okay.
I wasn't blown away. Some good set pieces, some good gore, but I just think it's just like it didn't need some of the bits in it. But it's not my sort of thing, you know. It's not.
This is like for the hardcore horror, you know, aficionado.
For the people who are fucked up like you mean? Yeah. Go on, let's go on to the next one. Let's roll it on, because I know you've been wanting to get to this one the whole fucking time, so off you go.
Well, this is the one that I was looking forward to the most out of the whole weekend. It's a comedy horror called Slacks.
Ready.
Hi there. And you are?
Libby.
You are here for the new collection turnaround. This is such an important night for us.
A lot of people have been very keen to get their eyes on it. Genes that automatically adapt to your body size. The Super Shapers!
It's directed by Elsa Kephart, starring the dazzling Romaine Dennis, among others, Sihar Bujani, Brett Donaghy, Kenny Wong are worth a mention. This is a movie about influencer culture gone mad, consumerism, you know, third world
ethical
sort of like work practices, I suppose, in its way. And at its heart, it's a possessed pair of genes.
I just can't laugh when you say it. It's just, it sounds like it shouldn't work.
I mean, you know, it is more, which is why I thought it's important to mention those things. But then a possessed pair of genes, you know, decapitating and ripping people's legs off and stuff like that effectively throughout the movie. But it does try to really sell you a interesting message.
It's definitely got an interesting theme for it, which is different.
But it's got some great fun deaths in it, and some great music and some. It's one of the more polished movies of the weekend, I'd say.
Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, I think I would have liked there was like a scene where it cuts away. That it might have been down to budget constraints, obviously. because I can imagine it'd be quite a lot of money because the effects are good on, you know, they're not shit on the jeans and stuff when they're walking around. It's not crap. It's not like funny crap. It's quite well done. But there's a scene where it kind of goes to town in the shop on a lot of people, and it doesn't show it. And I kind of would have loved to seen these jeans just all doing stuff like, and seeing more of the death. I think it would have been quite cool. However, that said, I thought it was a good movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I thought it was going to be fucking awful, to be honest, and I was pleasantly surprised. I went in there with low expectations.
Yeah, you were dead against this one, but like I prevailed because I just had a feeling that this was going to be some, you know, like Rubber, I suppose. It's just like fucking. I thought I kind of didn't need. I don't need the themes. I don't need a reason. I need just a pair of jeans going around killing people. That'd have been enough. But you know, some to have it, make it a bit more intelligent was good fun. It had some cheesy acting in there as well, which is well needed. You know, the manager guy was fucking weird, and the influencer woman.
It's Canadian, wasn't it?
Yeah, Canadian. It's just good fun. You know, the jeans are possessed. They're possessed by they're possessed by something that's gone darkly wrong.
Let's fucking spoil it for everyone again.
In another country, I suppose, and it's like revenge. You know, a pair of jeans getting their revenge, in a way.
I guess the ending is
in a way
before it even finished, but
well, yeah.
Hey ho, it's still good. It was good fun. What are you giving this one?
I would say this film gives me a 7.
Yeah,
7 out of 10. What about you?
I'd probably go a little bit lower than that and say 6.
Okay.
It wasn't middle of the road, but it wasn't amazing. But you know, I thought you would have gone higher on that.
I think this is good fun, and I think it didn't quite heat the reaches of the other ones that we watched, but 7 was fair for me. It's just good fun, and it's got to be. I picked this up on DVD. If I saw this, and the poster's great, this would get me.
Of course it would.
Buy it. This would be.
That's who it's aimed at. It's people like you.
In Asda or the SFX channel, I'd be well up for this.
Is that still going?
I don't know, but this is where you could probably fucking see it. This is like
horror channel late at night.
Yeah, this is a horror fucking
Even
channel
though they
late
have
at
some
night.
good stuff. Anyway,
it's fucking good, man. It's it was a fun one for the weekend because it was properly comedy horror. Like, you know, fucking, it's like Chucky but with a pair of jeans. You know, and the actress is new, and I would like to see more of her.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, enjoyed it. So then we went on to our not last, but one before last film by the name of Honeydew. Let's say this one was an interesting watch. This is a story about a couple that are on a trip. It looks like they're trying to get away from some stress at the moment because they're under, you know, one's studying for a test and the other's trying to learn lines for some kind of acting career that he's got. And they go camping, and they basically end up on a field they shouldn't be camping on. Obviously, you're the camping expert, so you know that's a no-go. Don't camp on people's private land. And they get kicked off. So it's the middle of the night. They find this little house, and they think, oh, let's knock on the door and see if we can get some roadside assistance. So
yeah, because when they go back to their car, it's the battery's dead or something like that.
Yeah. And so they end up at this house, knock on a door. A lovely little old lady answers the door.
Wow.
A bit weird, and she invites them in, insists they must be fed, and said, well, I'll get somebody to come and sort the car out, but he's old, it might take him forever. And then it goes all fucking weird.
It's one of those houses where you sort of see on a movie you don't want to be there because it ain't clean. It's not clean, and like the food looks kind of disgusting. It's not. I wouldn't touch a thing that she made.
No, but and the thing is, they're trying to be polite. So already when you're in there with them, it puts them on edge because they're trying to be polite. Like the girl is a vegan, and the man's got high cholesterol, so he's not allowed kind of like bad food. But she don't even listen, and she's like cooking him sausages and fucking all this other shit. And she also has this. Well, what you think is a son, which is...
Yeah, he's a big fucking fat guy with a bandage round his head.
Alright, don't be fattest.
I wasn't being fat, he's genuinely fat.
Okay. I was trying to be polite. and he's got a bandage around his head because he's been kicked by a horse.
Supposedly.
Yeah, and she's like, well, you know, it's so too late now. Why don't you stay here?
The whole thing made me feel fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, down to one of the biggest things is the soundtrack. It's such a
soundtrack's
weird.
Awesome.
What? The mouth fucking thing. I can't do it. Can you do it? That's it. You'd be good. You could be in their band. It was like mouth music, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With like really, but it was really like intense, like an assault on your senses. It was.
Yeah, that's a good
Can you
analogy.
even? I can't even. Like, it was so weird.
It was dark and twisted, and you didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Can't
There was
even
weird
really get.
hallucinogenic sort of things going on. There was like little trippy scenes. It was very arty, I suppose, in that sense. Like a bit
I
like
don't know
maybe-
if it. I don't know if it was. I just think it was just weird. It was just like the storyline. I don't know.
The storyline is simple. Like they've got a flid daughter, and I mean when I say flid, you know that is right in the right term. She's got no arms and no legs. That is what a flid is. A flidamite. Is that right? I think I'm pretty sure that's right. She's got no arms and no legs, and she just wants.
What you think is her daughter?
Well, maybe it's not a daughter.
In a box.
In a box.
No arms, no legs.
No arms, no legs. They just basically want Sam's sperm. They want some sperm to give to the daughter with no arms and no legs so she can have a baby.
Spoilers.
Which at some point in the movie you might see some.
But it's really the thing is it's
degrading.
It's very, very well made.
Yeah.
And so well acted.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack does grip you in. It kind of makes you a bit disorientated. It's just so fucking weird. But the old woman is just fucking harrowing. There's something about her that just makes you think psycho. Again, back to the OAP thing.
OAP, MVP.
Yeah, it's just like, she was great in it. But she even limped and she's so slow and you think, they can beat her up. They can get away. But yeah, I don't know. This one just weirded me out. I think I liked it. I don't know. It's not a film I would go and watch over and over again.
No, I couldn't watch
I'd
it.
maybe give it a watch again just to see what I missed. But it was.
I bet there was
very
a lot.
interesting.
I bet there was a lot.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think I liked it.
It was gross. It was just gross.
Oh god, the food that just weirded me out. It's like her feeding them like this stuff when they didn't really want it. And it was just, shoving it in their mouth and with her dirty fingers. And it's horrible.
Yeah.
But it's definitely on the grotesque, weird kind of front. But it almost had touches of kind of like the feel in places of Midsummer, like the uneasiness and the soundtrack and the way it's shot, but not the same storyline, if you get me. But yeah, it was a very, very interesting one. I think a lot of people really liked this. Because it was so weird and out there that it was so different to everything else we watched the whole weekend.
It could easily get picked up by A24.
Oh, fuck, yeah. You're
Easy.
right. It is, you're right. I think you're right. It's an A24 movie, I think.
Really
Big
is.
time. Yeah.
Out of all the movies this
Never thought about that,
weekend, this has got some proper general release. This is another it's another one that could probably get like The Owners, like Hosts.
Yeah.
This has got general release written all over
I just
it.
hope people are watching all these movies and going,
Yeah.
that got such a good response. That was awesome. We want it. Get it now. I mean, some of them have got deals, obviously, but yeah, I hope that these get all picked up.
Definitely. Another weird and fucking villain.
So, yeah, what are you giving that one, mate?
It's an 8 for me because it's just
Yeah,
there's
I'll be
something
on
about
with
it.
that,
There's
yeah.
something about it. There's something
Yeah.
about it. It was left with me for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck and hell did I just watch?
Especially without spoilers, especially the end, it left me thinking loads of things like, what? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you whispered something to me that you said that you'd give it a high score if this happens. So I think you said you'd give it a 10 if this happens, and it did happen. So you should be giving it a 10.
Oh shit! Yeah, I've got to give it a 10 then.
You've got to
haven't
give it a
I?
10. So
A fake 10, but really
the last scene
Shush! No spoilers.
was the reason that
Interesting.
Matt's
We'll
given
leave
this-
that to you.
Matt's given him a 10.
Oh my god! I should write this shit. I was like,
Matt's
if she starts doing that, I am gonna fucking give it a 10 because that's amazing.
That's fucking good fun.
Anyway, yeah,
Right.
so eight breaths out of 10 for that one.
And that was our weekend mainly, but last one we didn't sort of we didn't really want to watch. There was the nights
We had some choice, yeah.
the nights before Christmas or the nights
which is
something.
out literally now to buy on DVD.
Amazing.
And
I mean, it's
we got one copy in.
It's a fucking sequel.
It
a dog
didn't
shit.
look good. It didn't look.
Santa Claus
I said to you, didn't I? I just don't want it to watch something crap as our closer.
Nah.
Just
And the other one was Skyline 3, which we're
it'll
bound
come
to
out
which will
anyway.
come out on Netflix or something like that. So we watched the short showcase too because we love our shorts. So we're going to run through the shorts that we watched. I've got a list of them here.
Yep.
So I'll start. The first one was sort of a Grindhouse trailer-ish.
Yeah.
Like the Devil's Dice, it was called.
Mm.
It was very fucking interesting. It was just like these possessed dice, and again, it was just like all over the shot. But very funny, very witty, and just lots of weird images. I liked it. It was good fun.
Weird, that one.
The next one is the one I want to talk about though.
Yeah, go on. You run off the list and we'll both talk about it.
All right, Bakemono.
Yeah, Bakemono.
The Japanese.
Pokemono.
Was it?
I kept thinking of a Pokemon.
Yeah. This was fucking great. A great premise. I mean, it was like, I don't know, like the parents were trying to get the girl to throw some seeds, or
I think it's true myth.
True myth. Okay.
I think.
Well, they said I mentioned this Bakemono if like you
Japanese.
if you didn't throw these seeds out, then Bakemono would come and eat you. And she was like, all right. And the kid was just like not having any of it, and she went up and tried to feed Bakemono, and then it's like a nice little short about her kind of meeting Bakemono and like chucking her food and then
changing into Bakemono.
Yeah, it was fucking fucked up and weird, and it was very fun to watch.
It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's just short, sharp, to the point. Good storyline. Great little effects in it. Really cool. Yeah, I thought it was great. One of the best ones of them all, I thought.
The next one's called Are You Sleeping?
Yeah, that was basically, wasn't it? That was the one where the guy was having trouble sleeping. It's very, very short.
Right.
And literally gets given a self-help kind of iPod listening thing. And he falls asleep. And basically this thing comes and gets me. I gets him. I wasn't... Yeah, it's very, very short. It's one of the weaker ones, I felt.
The next one was called Melomaniac. Now I had to look this up. It was a bit of a poo for me. It was Melomaniac means somebody who's obsessed with music, and I didn't get that. It was a Bournemouth art project from what it was, and it's like, I don't know. It was too long for a short. You know, like it had a good ending. The ending wasn't bad.
Yeah. I mean, they're young, aren't they? And it's like, it's starting out. You start and stuff like this, and you know, it was a little bit. It could have been shortened. I think you're right. It was too long. Didn't keep me engaged that much. It didn't really. Yeah, for a short, I wasn't invested.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but you know what it's like. If it's short, I think it's like you've either got to get them. You've got that amount of time to reel them in really quick. It's got to be punchy. It's got to be good. And I felt a bit like I was just a bit boring.
We've got Your Monster next, which is with the girl from Orange Is the New Black.
That's right, because you were racking your brains because you knew you saw her from somewhere. Yeah.
This was fun.
Absolutely loved this one. Brilliant.
I mean, this plays on the idea that everyone has a monster in the closet, and that monster is kind of you and looking after you in every sense of the word. I think that's what I got from it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you're meant to interpret from it. Because, I mean, looks like she's had a breakup by some douchebag boyfriend, and she's going through cancer treatment, and she's recovering, I guess.
Yeah.
And it just seems like this guy who looks a bit like a werewolf, kind of ghoul kind of type guy. But what was great about it, it was just normal guy. He's like, oh hi, like his mannerisms are just like, he's not a monster. Like, rah, I'm a monster, I'm gonna get you. He's like, I'm your mate. I'm just here to help out, and chill out, and have fun, and make you feel better.
Yeah, it was like fun. They were just having a lovely little relationship, talking and stuff like every day. He kind of went off and killed a load of people next door at one stage. I'm pretty sure.
Being too noisy.
I'm pretty sure you got that impression. But yeah, it was nice. It was
one bit I really did like is when they go into the closet and she and it's kind of really heartwarming because she's like, oh, you kept all my clothes from when she was from a baby up until now, and it's like, and he's just like taking care. Oh yeah, I take care of them. I keep them here. And it's just like a nice little sweet moment. And it's just like, for a short to have that connection in such a short time was really clever.
Yeah.
I'm really liking his quippy and he was just he's the sort of guy you just want to hang around with and just have fun with. And if people piss you off, it's go and fucking kill that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. I thought it was a really cool one.
Yeah, really good. All right, the next one's called Teething. Set in a hospital, would you say?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a hospital or like a
maternity ward.
Or even, I don't even know if it was a maternity ward. I don't know if it might have been an orphanage or something, maybe.
Yeah, but it had a janitor in who was sort of cleaning, and that's a fucking... Well, it's probably one of the most fucked up scenes in any of the shorts.
It was quite full on, wasn't it? I was like,
yeah.
what?
There was a baby in there who's sort of like crying because it's teething, I guess, and then... suddenly there's a vampire fucking eating the baby.
Yeah, what we think is a vampire just munching down.
Yeah. And obviously he has to kill the baby, the janitor.
Because he looks at the baby and the baby's turned to a vampire.
Yeah. Does he take care of the baby or does he kill the baby?
He kills the baby.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
I think. It's fucking weird.
It's a bit nasty. This one. But very, very...
Well done.
Well,
really
very well done. Very
creepy.
well done.
The vampire baby was creepy.
Vampire baby was very good. Next one was called Norman.
You liked this one. The kind of foreign arty one. I'm surprised you liked it.
It was just weird. The guy was just... There was something about the guy that was just like batshit. He was clearly dead and maybe a ghost, and he was just like following him, and he was kind of transfixed. It was just very... it was very arty and very disjointed, but something about him made me feel really uncomfortable. And to make me feel that uncomfortable in a short space of time, it won me over because of that. But it didn't get you, did it?
Not really. I'm not massively... I don't know. It's just too pretentious for me. Like, so it's like mirror, black and white, balcony, woman. Like, I was just like, oh, fuck this shit.
I know what you're saying.
Not my sort of thing.
But every time you saw a picture of him, I just got very creeped out. So that kind of... left an impression on me. Next one was called Peaking.
Peaking.
Which I can't remember. So obviously that couldn't have been that fucking good.
It was basically the one. It was following a girl who had headphones on. I didn't like this one much. And she had it was almost like a noise meter, like she was hunting for ghosts. And she was going in each room. And it ended with a massive noise.
Yeah.
I just didn't really...
Didn't set the tension, I don't think. But never mind. Better than this next one, though, Disco Graveyard. What?
Now, that was art.
That was art. I guess she does a lot of them for Fright Fest, and she put another one together, and I don't know. It was just like a big kind of thing you might show your kids.
I don't know. I think... There's probably loads of meaning in it or something that maybe we missed, that we're not intellectual enough to know what it was.
I think this one we weren't intelligent enough for.
But it was a thing.
Fair enough.
Not our sort of thing, but...
Because then we moved on to this other one called Don't Walk, which was the fucking MVP of the shorts. It's all about walking. Had some nice little touches. The t-shirts were part of the Haydenfield Ramblers. That was some nice touches on that.
Yeah, I saw that.
You did see that. Well done.
And John Carpenter came up and said, "I'll have a pint of Carpenters."
There's a pint of Carpenters, yeah. And it was sort of like a film of like I guess I don't know. Apparently, there's an unspoken rivalry between walkers and runners.
Which you are both.
Which I do both of. So
that's why maybe you don't. Maybe
I don't really see a rivalry, but. It was tongue in cheek. It was very spaced. That was Simon Pegg. The two people were like being stalked by this.
It was funny, man.
Yeah, it was really, really funny. It was funny. It was like they were like being stalked by a demon. Every time they walked, could present itself and follow them. And every time they ran, so they had to be forced to run and skip and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's weird. And then the runner got his just desserts. So yeah, it was good fun, this one.
I really enjoyed it. I think that was one of the best shorts in the whole thing, which was good.
Yeah, the next one again called Night Feed. The last one, very short. It was from the perspective of a baby and what the baby might see when you came to do a night feed.
It's sweet because the guy obviously done it in lockdown. It was his own kid.
It was cute.
And it was the end thing was cool. But yeah, it's funny because you don't really think of how scary, because babies can't really see at that age much. And it must be quite fucking scary when this big fucking person looms over your cot.
Yeah.
And it's about really short, but yeah, it's
clever.
Cool. It's
good
nice.
Fun. We didn't mention another short that we saw before Slacks, which is definitely worth
definitely worth talking
and this is a
about.
bit longer, and you have to go and watch this on YouTube if you can find it, called Little Willy.
Definitely.
It stars
a man after your own heart.
It stars the guy from Gremlins, Zach Gilligan, and Adrian Barboa, the Nightlight. And it is about a guy at a convention who was in sort of some kind of,
it's almost parodying
a Chucky movie sort of thing, I suppose. And he's not he's sort of trying to move on or not moving on, and he might be a serial killer and he might not be a serial killer.
But if you go to conventions, you'll understand this guy's woes.
Yes, it's very, and that's why I think we really liked it, because he goes to these conventions. But if you're behind the scenes, it is fucking fun. It's really fun and worth watching on YouTube.
Cool.
Really good fun. Little Willy.
Little Willy.
Yeah. So yeah,
it wasn't me. It was Little Willy.
Oh fucking hell, that's funny. But all in all, a really successful festival.
Really successful.
We saw a lot. Like there were a lot of 8s and above. There were more good than bad for this one, 100%.
Absolutely.
And fucking loved it. I had so much fun. These movies are good. It's a shame we didn't get to go to the physical, but next year, cross our fingers.
And it's really cool. A lot of good stuff that has got a lot of hype. Like Relic is one that I'm definitely going to seek out, that clashed with Hosts, but I'm happy with our decision. There's the other one about the violence one with the bikers. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, there's loads of other ones I want to check out that were there. So hopefully we will get to check them out. Just to want to say, like, a massive thanks to the Fright Fest guys that put the festival on. They are fantastic. We really hope we can be back there in August, being actually there, seeing everybody. Massive big hello to all the Fright Fest goers. It's great. It was great chatting to you, all you guys on Facebook, and getting all your input. It really made the festival feel like we were still there to a certain degree. But yeah, thanks a lot. It was great fun this year.
Yeah, loads of fun. Thank you guys. Thanks for putting it on. And I think with that, actually, before we go, we're going to have our main. Well, we're going to get back to normal for our next next episode. Our main review, I think, is going to be. I'm going to spring this on you now. Is either going to be Nocturne, which is one of the 4 Blumhouse movies that are on Amazon right now, because I've seen some good write-ups on that, or His House, which is coming on Netflix tomorrow, on Friday. So effectively, would have been out by now. Okay, and it's Matt's turn to pick the movie from the vault. What you got, dude?
So I'm going to pick a movie that I think that both of us, I definitely haven't seen, and I don't think you've seen, and I've wanted to see it for so long. I'm going to pick Phantasm.
Oh, fuck. I've never seen it.
Nor have I. And I've always wanted to see it. And they've got about 80 of the movies.
There's only 5.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. I'm just saying there's loads.
6. I think there's 6. I might watch 1 and 2.
I think you should watch them all.
Each.
So then I just had to come back with 1, and you can say all the rest. Oh, the others are good.
Shit. I might try and have a Phantasm fest then. Okay, cool. So that's it then. So our main movie is going to be.
We don't know.
It's between 2. It could be between 5. But we don't, Nocturne, His House. But Move in the Vault, Phantasm, what a fucking classic, mate. Pulled it out of the fucking bag. Right, I suppose I hope you all had a great Halloween weekend, trick-or-treating. And there's only one more thing to say. When there's no more room in hell, here's another podcast.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
You can follow us on Twitter at DrawOneLast, Instagram at DrawOneLastBreath, or pop us an email at drawnelastbreathpod@hotmail.com.